Jeff Slauson here from 19 News Now at the 19 News Digital Desk. Wanted to break in here with some breaking news. Now, we have limited information on this, but we wanted to get this out as quickly as possible. Cleveland Heights High School, Monticello Middle School placed on lockdown due to threats. Here's what we have. Here's what we know. Now, we do have a crew that is headed down there. It's going to take them a little bit, maybe 30, 40 minutes. And of course, when we get the latest from them, we'll be able to update you progressively as this goes. But what we know as of right now, Cleveland Heights High School, Monticello Middle School on lockdown after threats were made through social media. This is according to Cleveland Heights officials. City of Cleveland Heights spokesman Mike Thomas confirmed that the threats were made quite a bit ago, 11:45 a.m., again, as a result of social media threats that were made. According to Mike Thomas, again, the City of Cleveland Heights spokesman, both schools are on a level 2 lockdown. That means that students have returned to their classrooms, have not left, have been placed basically in there in a lockdown formation. So cannot leave that spot, kept in their classroom, guarding the door essentially, or blocking the door, that type of a lockdown. So they haven't left the school yet. The source of the threat as well is currently being investigated. Now, according to Thomas, detectives are working to identify the source with the credibility, which is a huge double-edged sword here, right? They need to understand where it came from and if it's valid before they can let the students even remotely move, get out, go around. So let's pull up a map here. I want to show you what Cleveland Heights High School looks like from the air. So for anybody that's not necessarily familiar with it, obviously you have the football field on the left-hand side, but a couple of things I want to point to here. So the main entrance to Cleveland Heights High School, I'm going to drop the pin right on Cedar, okay, facing the school, okay? So this is the main entrance, that main area to the school. However, there aren't necessarily main entrances to it. When you go down Kildare, that's when you start to get some of the side entrances. Now, what's important about that, I want to see if I can go back here. Cool, okay. So the reason why I'm pointing out these side entrances, so if you look, this one right here, okay, that is Cedar and Lee. And then Cedar, and I believe that is Goodner. Yep, that is Goodner. Okay, when you get to those areas, you'll notice that those are bus stops. Those are public transit stops that students, faculty, people take. The reason why this is so important is a lot of these, and I know for a fact that a few of these, you can see there, have cameras. So if any threat came from around the area, they would be able to assess that, look at it, investigate it from the cameras that you're seeing right there. The problem is, at least with the threat that we are seeing, again, for those that are just joining us here, a lockdown at Cleveland Heights High School, as well as Monticello Middle School as well. The belief is from investigators that these threats came from social media. Again, I want to repeat the breaking news that we have right now. Lockdown at Cleveland Heights High School and Monticello Middle School. The threats, according to the City of Cleveland Heights spokesman Mike Thomas, were made at around 11:45 a.m. and were made through social media. The students that are in both schools are on what they call a level 2 lockdown. So that level 2 lockdown puts all of the kids in their classrooms, and that is where they are staying. If my timeline is correct, 11:45 to now, they have been in those classrooms on lockdown. We did get confirmed that there is a police presence outside of Cleveland Heights High School. We are waiting for our crew to get there on the scene to be able to look into this a little bit more and show us exactly what the scene looks like down there, again, at Cleveland Heights. But wanted to at least inform you of the situation that we are seeing right now. Now, again, what we are noticing... Right, okay, yeah. Again, we are noticing through this that there has been this lockdown, or that noticing through this, or at least from the past experiences that we've had here, when the lockdowns are done, they are doing that to ensure that the threat is valid or not valid, and the best way to get students in and out, but also to ensure that one of the students that potentially could be a threat isn't in there with any of the other kids as well. If this sounds familiar, at least somewhat familiar, I want to bring you back to August 30th. Yeah, August 30th, when Cleveland Heights High School had a lockdown in place due to threats being made. There was a report. They were also put in a level 2 lockdown at the time. there was a report then of, I believe it was a man wearing a ski mask. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. So there was a man wearing a ski mask that led to the closing of Cleveland Heights High School after that possible threat was made. According to, there was a letter that was shared with families. They said that there was a lockdown issued at 3:40. This is after dismissal, so drastically different than what we're seeing right now. A person wearing a black mask entering the building. Unconfirmed report by parents that the suspects had weapons, things like that, but obviously causing a really, really difficult situation for the school. They also placed, at the time, these students on this level 2 lockdown, which again is what we are seeing right now. So what exactly is that level 2 lockdown? I have the verbiage here specifically. So according to the district, when a level 2 lockdown occurs, all exterior and interior doors are locked. Movement within the school is allowed only by an announcement from the administrator. There is no entry into or exit from the building at all. Students are to return to their rooms immediately. If a student is outside for physical education, for recess, anything like that, they go indoors into a classroom immediately. It's typically the closest classroom to where they are at the time, and they remain in that class. Activity in the classroom continues as usual. So they continue with instruction as they await for someone to give them an update. Now, what we don't know as of right now is specifically what these threats were as a result of social media. We know right now that the students are currently still in lockdown, and we know that they are still investigating. So, as for a timeline, if you are watching this concerned about your child, we do not have one at the moment because officials don't have one. Police do not have one because they are unsure about what the timeline looks like as far as full investigations into this, looking at those social media threats, determining if they were valid or not, and then if they're able to get the kids out of the school effectively. But again, this is the second time in essentially the past 2 months that we've had something like this happen in the Cleveland Heights School District. First was, again, a man in a mask. This second one now is the case of a social media threat being made. So incredibly terrifying for these parents and for these kids as well. We have a crew that is on the way there. Again, they're going to be making their way to Cleveland Heights, or potentially could be there anytime soon. But what we know right now is all the information that I'm able to give you right now. I'm going to re-rack this, re-explain this breaking news, and then we'll go from there again. So again, for those that are just joining, for those that just jumped onto our digital stream here, Jeff Slauson from 19 News Now, breaking down the latest in what is a currently unfolding breaking situation out of Cleveland Heights High School and Monticello Middle School. They are both on lockdown after threats were made through social media. This, according to Cleveland Heights officials. We had a call into police, and we had calls into many different organizations that confirmed there is an active police presence around the school. City of Cleveland spokesman Mike Thomas confirmed that the threats were made at 11:45 a.m. Both schools under a level 2 lockdown, which means that students are returned to their classrooms. No one is allowed to walk in the halls until there is an administrative announcement. No one is allowed to leave or to enter, and the classroom instruction continues. So essentially, this is an extended session of whatever class, whatever thing they were in. Detectives are working to identify the source of the threat as well as its credibility. So that means that they are looking to try and see if that threat is correct, if it's valid enough to lead to some sort of an investigation. But clearly, with the investigation going on from 3:45 till now, there needs to be some sort of investigating that's been going on, and there needs to be some sort of looking into this. So that threat has led to ultimately a lockdown of multiple hours here. We had reached out to the Cleveland Heights School District for more details on this, and of course, as soon as we do get an update on that, we will let you know. But we have not heard anything from them at this point. Want to remind everybody, we had a situation of a similar lockdown in August. There was a man in a ski mask that led to a lockdown of the school. They were only locked down for a few hours, and this was after school hours. However, this is now the second time that we've had this situation in as many months. And of course, trying to learn more, working to learn more on this. So I'll show you one more time the map here. Let's see here. Yeah, so if you're looking at, again, this is Cleveland Heights High School. So this is the main entrance here. So every entrance and exit is blocked off. Can't get in, can't get out. Police will be going around areas, making sure that nobody enters, nobody exits, and then again determining the social media threat. All right, that's going to be the latest that we have here from this lockdown at Cleveland Heights High School. We'll have much more on this today on 19 News at 3 o'clock. The crew that we have on the way, of course, will be able to provide you the latest live, and in addition to that, if we get any updates, we'll bring them to you on all of our streaming and digital platforms. All right, that's it for what we have at least offering here on our digital platforms in relation to the story. For now, I'm Jeff Slauson with 19 News. Have a great day. We're going to have much more to come on this and other breaking news stories over the next few hours.
19 News, now streaming on Samsung Smart TV. Search for channel 1035.